Hello, everyone. It's Hanifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. And we're still on our journey on the evolution of consciousness. So, if you've been following along with the last few videos, you know that now we have already seen that we started off with innocence, then we had the birth of the ego, and then we had the birth of the achiever, and then we had the birth of the giver. And now there's a certain transformation that happens in this phase, or can happen, or often happens, with is this whole difference between the giver to what is going to be the seeker. There is a bit of transformation. And this is also a change in our states of consciousness or experience. So, if we were thinking that again, there's different states of consciousness and different states of physiology and function in the body and outside of the body when we are dreaming, when we are sleeping, and when we are waking. There is a different state that can also be aspired to, or accomplished, or achieved, or experienced when a person moves from the state of the giver to the state of the seeker. Now, this often requires stillness. Sometimes it can come about after a not easy experience, a life changing experience. Could be a significant trauma in life, or it could be a major awareness that has come to mind. It could be so many different things, but there's definitely oftentimes a necessary space that's required for getting to the space of transforming into the seeker. So when a person is moving into the space, they don't necessarily have to consciously be trying to get there. In fact, I think if anyone tries to get there, it's less easy. But if someone is stilling the mind with something like meditation, meditation, of course, could be simple breathing exercises, or it could be walking in a forest, or it could be connecting with nature, it could be looking at flowers, it could be so many different things. But the intention would be to still the mind so that the mental chatter of the mind is not taking up the space from which the seeker can emerge. So, in time, people can get to the space of the seeker, and the seeker is a beautiful, beautiful space. The seeker is in a very different awareness of life experience. So remember that when we're dreaming, we think it's really happening until we wake up into our waking state. When we wake up, we realize, oh, that was a dream. And when you go from the experience of the giver to the seeker, there's a similar sort of awareness of life experience that, oh, that was waking and this is different. So there is something different that happens in this consciousness change and development and growth and expansion that happens as a person moves from the giver to the seeker. The seeker is the space where you might have heard and you might have already experienced these things without even consciously realizing that you're in kind of a different space when you're thinking about something and something happens. So, this is where you're thinking about a friend that you haven't spoken to for many years, and suddenly that friend calls. And you think, wow, how did that even happen? It's been years since I've spoken with this person, and yet they just called me and I was thinking about them just yesterday or just today. And so this is where these miracles happen. There are simple, small miracles that happen, that there are these wonderful serendipitous events that happen in life that, again, there's an intention, a thought, and suddenly something is coming into fruition in your life experience. So it's a beautiful experience to have, to be in the space of the seeker. Now, remember that we never really lose any of the stages of the evolution that we go through. There is still the innocent within us. There is still the ego within us. There is still the achiever. There is still the giver. And then there is the seeker. And everything that happens in any of our states of consciousness is all because we are choosing to put attention to a new awareness. And the more we put attention into anything is what grows, right? So, of course, if you can think that we get to this sort of space by actually having space, some stillness, some quiet, then we know that we need to make time for that stillness and that quiet, which is why so many people stay in the early stages of conscious evolution, at least consciously, that they're aware of this is the space they're in, because most people do live in the confines of dreaming, sleeping, and waking. And when we go beyond that, where we're into a different state of awareness and consciousness, we're in that seeking place. And the seeker, this is the quotation for this presentation or this lecture, this video. This quotation is by Gautama Buddha, who said, "The seeker is who is being sought." The seeker is who is being sought. So if you think about this, all along life, a person is looking for something and expanding and becoming better and growing. And all along the way, expansion of consciousness is happening. And then at this stage of transformation, there's a sudden glimpse of an awareness of what I am thinking and feeling and coming into my experience is happening because of something else that's allowing this to happen too. So this is where people might think of this as a God force. It could be the universe working through them. Some people will think of it as their own spirit or soul. And there is that awareness that there is something else that, without even putting a physical action into something, if I am intending on something and I am able to focus on this space, things are happening. So the seeker is suddenly discovering that it's the one that is actually helping in creation of its life experiences, which is so fantastic. I think if you do get to the place of the seeker, it's such a beautiful space. And again, these synchronicities happen that are not expected per se. They might be anticipated or hoped for or intended at some level, but it's really without expectation that things start falling into place. These miraculous things, experiences start happening. So you can think about how in most of our lives, we have a tendency of having something. So that once I have this, then I will do this, then I'll think this, and that will help me be that. So what is the be that most people are trying to get to? It's being happy usually. I mean, the goal is being happy. If people, for much of human existence, it's that peaceful contentment, that there's that space of, I just want to be happy. So in this seeker stage, people recognize that there is kind of the opposite happening. If I can be the feeling or the space that I want to be at, then I can have the things that I want to have. And that will make me think the things that I need to do to have the things that I want. So, which is so interesting, right? Normally we have to have the things that we want. If I have enough money, then I can go to school and then I can um, think about the job that I need to get, and that will help me be the practitioner I want to be, for example, or the profession that I want to be. And if instead we're already in the space of I am being. So being is just fully appreciating where you are right now. That's just the state of being. That's the state of meditation. That's a space that anyone can get to at any time, but most of us don't give ourselves a luxury until we're comfortable in everything else that our mind feels that it needs that comfort in. But if we can already be, just be, because if you're just content and this is already here, this is the energy, the vibration that's coming from you, it's in just that space of appreciation. I'm here, I'm being. Then you can actually think about the things that, what is it that I like most? What is it that I like to feel most? What is it that I would like to achieve in life? So it's backwards, right? So you're thinking, I'm already being, I'm already content, and thoughts come. So the thoughts come to you rather than you thinking the thoughts. The thoughts will come to you, the ideas will flow through you. And those ideas and thoughts, as they come, will then allow things to materialize in your life that will allow you to have the things, that will allow you to do the things that you had desired to do. So you will have to take my word for it, but I will say that if you will spend even 15 minutes a day focusing on your breathing and clearing your mind and having stillness within, even if you are finding stillness, if you can look at a flower, if you can just breathe and enjoy the oxygen going into your lungs, all of these will help you just be in the moment. And then it takes trust and faith to recognize that things are coming to me as they need to. I think the things that I need to think, that makes me do the things that I want to do, which allows me to achieve the things that I'd like to have. So I hope that this has been useful for you, and I hope that if you are going to apply this, to do this regularly every day, at least 15 or 20 minutes today, and I hope that you know that if you transform your mind, you can transform your life. Have a great day, everyone.